What is going on out there, peeps? All right, as usual, man, I'm looking at Vietnam articles, and again, I'm going to show you why the currency has no choice but to change. But in addition to that, why you should be thinking of Vietnam long term. First of all, look at this resort. This is actually a place in Vietnam, and it literally is out in the middle of the boonies. Now, I went to Japan one time, and as I was flying over the mountain, this beautiful scenery, beautiful. And out in the middle of nowhere were these huge buildings, just one building. And I was like, what the heck? It's just weird to see this huge complex out in the middle of nowhere. And I was asking the guy next to me, I go, isn't that weird to see? He goes, no, that's where the farmers live. I said, what? He goes, yeah, see all the rice paddies and stuff? I go, yeah. He goes, well, they live in that apartment complex. I was like, oh, wow. It was weird to see. This is like one of those places where you'll be flying by and going, what the hell is this out in the middle of nowhere? So this is a resort actually in Vietnam. It definitely looks like a place I want to go check out. All right. So anyways, let's get into it real quick. So just for you guys who are newbies, real quick, I have a Facebook group with the same name as a YouTube channel, Pimpy's Investment Chat. I will leave a link in the description. Come join us. And for those individuals who are into the conspiracy side of things, I have the hidden things in front of your eyes. In here we talk about all the kind of 9/11, conspiracies, the whole 9 yards. I'll leave a link for both of them. Both of them are free to join. Come over, have fun. All right. Let's get into some good things real quick in Vietnam, as usual. Okay, so look, already local airlines regained 35 to 40% passenger capacity. Here's the thing: Vietnam had zero deaths, zero, and a very, very small percentage of the people got sick. So somehow, some way, they've managed to not only control the virus, but to pretty much keep it out of their damn countries, what they did. Anyways, airlines have regained 35 to 40% of capacity, according to the civil aviation authorities. So what does this mean for Vietnam? Well, here we go. We got tourism starting back up. You're going to see more and more people wanting to go there. You don't have to go there and worry about getting the Rona. You know, you might bring them the Rona. I don't know if you're going to bring them there. I'm sure they're taking drastic measures to make sure people don't go over and screw things up. So, yeah, so this is good. Tourism has started up again. There are people already flying in to go there for vacations. That's what this article is about. I only bring this up to show you that, look, Vietnam already had a booming first quarter of the year, and now they continue to grow, and you have no clue what's coming up. I've spoken about it, but now we got proof. Okay, new established firms surged 36% in May. So there was kind of a hit in new businesses coming in, obviously because of the Rona. All right. But in the month of May, it's been one heck of a month for them. A 36% increase. So more than 10,720 new firms were set up in May with a total registered capital of 112.7 trillion VND. That's the Vietnam dong. But what it amounts to is 4.83 US dollars, up 36% in numbers and 20% in capital from the previous month, according to the General Office of Statistics. Well, why do you suppose that is? Because that's kind of a good segue to start heading into this next article. We know what happened over there. We know that just like Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam benefited big time from a trade war between the U.S. and China. But there's a bigger problem coming. The Republican Senate is talking about slapping on some serious tariffs again on China until they open up to the world so they could come in and do a legitimate investigation about the origins of the Rona. All right. Now, we know they're not going to cooperate with this. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised if some serious tensions don't start escalating, okay? Especially with an election coming up. So go ahead and slap the tariffs on there. Let's go ahead and do that. Guess who's going to benefit? Vietnam and the surrounding countries. So you see, holding on to the Vietnam currency, I told you guys, it's only just a matter of time. Pretty soon we should see the increase. No, I don't have a magic wand as to when, but it obviously has to be soon. We know that they can't afford, Vietnam that is, we know they can't afford to get tariffs slapped on them for manipulating their currency. They're still manipulating their currency. All right. So right now they're seeing all kinds of business coming their way. This is going to cause a booming economy. Economically, this is really sound for Vietnam. But the last thing they want to do is slow down or stop that flow. Why? Because they've pissed off Trump, and Trump has slapped tariffs on there as well as any other types of sanctions. Okay, so 36% increase in business numbers, that's just in 1 month. What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the year? All right, their economy, just think about this. Remember the last video I did, I told you guys the EU trade agreement with Vietnam takes effect in June. So you're going to see some numbers really skyrocket here for Vietnam in the coming months, especially for 2020. All right, I told you guys, look at more and more of this is happening. Now you add on the fact that they're getting ready to announce even more sanctions and tariffs on China. This is going to cause a rush, a bigger wave than there already is. As you know, look what's going on. More giant foreign firms plan to shift investments into Vietnam. So, who are we talking about? Vietnam is expected to see new foreign direct investments. A wave as more foreign companies plan to move investments into the country. The U.S.-China trade has triggered the trend of shifting product lines from China to South Asia and other markets, including Vietnam, which was seen as a promising destination. So, they're slowly moving over there right now. They're already doing this at big name companies. What's going to happen when more tariffs are slapped on China? And I told you it's not just the United States that's doing it. There's countries around the world. Okay. Meanwhile, many countries many countries are fighting against the Rona pandemic, while Vietnam has basically controlled the disease while maintaining its economical growth momentum. Okay. Pegatron, Amazon, Home Depot have started recruiting and seeking to open new supply chains, with Vietnam being amongst the potential markets. Other U.S. giants like Google and Microsoft have announced their plans to relocate their production facilities of new phones, personal computers, and some other devices from China to South Asia or Southeast Asia, with factories in Vietnam and Thailand. I told you the Thai baht is another currency to invest in. Expected to be the beneficiaries, the Nikkei Asia Review reported. Microsoft is scheduled to start producing its Surface line, including notebook and desktop computers, in the northern region of Vietnam in the second quarter of this year, at the earliest, according to the Asia Review. Since late February this year, Apple has announced recruitment notices in Vietnam for a number of positions in the HCM city in Hanoi, is its official website. Now, remember, I told you this. Trump is renegotiating everybody's trade deal, and he was over there to talk to Vietnam before the caca hit the fan, all right? So what that means is, one of the things he's going to tell them, and just like he did with Mexico and just like he did with China, look, you cannot continue to manipulate your currencies, and you're going to have to do something about these companies that are American companies. I don't have a problem with it. I won't slap some tariffs on there as long as you increase the salaries of the employees. People say, oh, Trump can't do that. The hell he can't. He already did it, and he did it to Mexico. So he told them, in order for them to be able to allow the car manufacturers to exist there without slapping them with huge tariffs, they had to make sure that their employees were making somewhere around the same amount of money that employees were making here in the United States, and they guaranteed it, $16 an hour minimum. You're going to see that happen here. If that's the case, what's that do to the currency? It increases the currency. All right. Also, it increases the cost of living there. It increases the way the economy is, how strong it is. Do you see where I'm going? I'm telling you, Vietnam long term. I'm looking at mutual funds 5, 10, 15 years down the line. As far as the currency is concerned, man, anytime now, that stuff should happen. But here's my thing. I wouldn't swap all my currency at one time, because I have a feeling it's going to continue to go up in increments, all right? How much, I'm not sure, but it's definitely interesting. So anyways, in recent moves, TIP listed Westron Corporation, another manufacturing partner, also chose Vietnam as part of its 1 billion US dollar expansion plan for this year and the next, along with India, Mexico. See, I told you more. What the heck? Mexico's going. We're going Vietnam. There's a lot of countries. So before this all happened, I told you Vietnam was China's China. They would outsource a lot of the stuff that they supposedly made for us to Vietnam. Vietnam would make it, send it back to China. China would slap that made in China sticker on there and send it into the United States. Why would we do that? Why would we use China as the middleman? We could just go straight to the source in the first place. Already, look at these businesses. I told you they are definitely a long-term investment as well. Gore-Tech, one of Apple's imported manufacturing partners in China, which has 2 assembly plants in Cu Vo Industrial Park in Bac Ninh Province, revealed in March that it was preparing to establish a unit in Vietnam. Man, people are jumping off that China ship like it's sinking. I'm telling you this. I said this in the video and people thought I was crazy. I told everybody that Trump is literally in position to destroy the Chinese Communist Party just like Reagan did in the USSR. All right? So don't be surprised to see if the destruction of the Communist Party, the one that has a stronghold on it, don't be surprised if people start rising up. They're already complaining now. Now, all of a sudden, you're taking away jobs. And I'm not talking about a few jobs. These are thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs. And if this wave continues, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of jobs. And I expect it to. And who's going to be the beneficiary? All those countries I told you guys to invest in around the South China Sea. Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Vietnam. All right, I told you guys it's looking good. I'm showing you also, look, you know dang well as I do, as they continue to grow, they have to stay within a certain criteria that was set by the Trump administration to make sure they don't fall under the category of currency manipulations. Now, you tell me, with all this great stuff happening for them, all these great moves getting ready to happen, do you think they want to do anything to stop this momentum? No, they're not going to. They're going to have to change their currency, and they're going to do it soon. All right, you guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Both help out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. You guys have a good one.